bit because for me, because that's where we were starting and that's where we're going. That way we just know what we're getting into a little bit. Um, it's like for me, like so once upon a time, I was a very conservative prick. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Once upon a time, that
Once
was
upon a
me.
time.
Once upon
Okay.
a time, right?
Yeah. Like
So,
yesterday.
we'll say 10 years ago. We'll say 10 years
Okay.
ago for
Okay.
sure. We'll say
I
10
can
years ago.
appreciate that. Okay.
Yeah. Right. And I was really like it, and my sister will attest to this. I was really getting like against the whole tattoo thing, kind of like personal belief system, but a couple other things. Life kicked me in the ass in a really good way. It loosened me up, knocked a few teeth out, but in the process, I kind of had got a perspective on things I probably should have always had. But I was young and dumb. We'll leave it at that. But here's the thing I noticed. So when I lived in Alberta for like 10 years, everybody around me had a tattoo. So now it kind of came, and I had this like really interesting epiphany about people. And this was the epiphany I had about people. We all carry our stories with us.
Yeah.
The question is, do we, like, if you pay attention to it, I feel like you can figure out anybody. Like ultimately, it's just because I think most people want to share and communicate. Most, it's almost like for me, it's almost like for instance, like my story's here. If people want to ask me, they'll tell me. Now that all said, I'm no longer quite so prickish about the whole tattoo thing with everybody else, right? It's like, but once upon a time, I was that guy. Now I don't know what kind of guy I am exactly. I've just kind of just I roll with things a lot more, and I just I've grown and matured and or something. Let's say something.
You've grown older.
Older. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
I'm older. Possibly. Like hold on a second here. I'm just doing this so I can actually possibly see comments and stuff
Okay. Yep.
all powerful Facebook. Hallowed be thy name, all that other blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. But no, so I like, and also like my secret to it actually was just, and I promise you'll talk. I swear, I'm not just.
Oh no, that's fine.
Yeah, I've learned to listen, and I recognize, and I learned something very, very valuable. Now I know this is a shocking thing. I know you'll be shocked to hear this. The world is bigger than me. Like the world isn't big. I know it's a shocking, big. Like it was a big step for me to take.
It's a lesson. It's a lesson.
It's a lesson, right? It's
Yep.
just one of those things, and it's funny when you're young, you fear being small, and when you're older, you realize you're even smaller than you possibly imagined. But you learn to be okay with it. I think that's a sign of possibly a sign of maturity.
It somewhat is. So you're okay with knowing nothing. You realize how much information and how very small we are.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
That's okay. I've learned I'm okay with this. Now every once in a while I make fun of it because it's just like it's one of those things. But that's how I started with this whole thing. So that's like, am I perfect? God, no. I mean, I'm certainly not. But I definitely try my best to. I try my best to understand, and that's all really any of us can do, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've kind of come along with, especially having prominent tattoos and putting them in, like going to get the neck tattoo. I knew that there would be limitations on the future, and I mean, there's lots of people that I've come across that are your old self in the conservative aspect. I've done a lot of business networking. I used to have I have normal hair now. But I used to have purple, I used to have pink, I used to have rainbow, like inverted bobs. I went straight Britney Spears and got shaved on one side and asymmetrical on the other side. And my hairdresser had a panic attack that day. She thought I was having a crisis, but she was. But I've got a tattoo there. I've got my script on this arm. And I just kind of told myself that this is the life that I carry. This is me. and I like to be bold. And when I was going through those business networking events, I had a guy come up to me and say, do you really think people are going to take you serious? And I said, well, I guess, that's proof in what I do. So throughout the times that I went to the business networking, I guess my intelligence sort of won him over from my appearance, and we ended up being pretty casual acquaintances. I mean, we never really did business together, but he at least saw me as a human from after our first meeting, and actually noticed every time that I changed my hair, and noticed every time that I made slight differences to my appearance. Oh, did you get a new tattoo? Oh, interesting, you noticed. So I think it's just something that I've learned to live with. It's me, and if someone doesn't like it, I feel that's their personal opinion. And really, it's me that has to carry it. So
actually, the real thing is you don't have to carry anything. Like the honest truth is in this wonderful world, you can do what you please. The truth of the matter is people are going to say and believe whatever it is they want to believe, right? And there are things, and they may not agree with you. And you know what? That's fine. Like, look, I personally enjoyed, again, the world is bigger than me. I enjoyed the fact that you have your own perspective on things.
Yeah.
And I have my own. We're not going to agree on everything because we shouldn't, right? We're different people. Right, but that doesn't, like, again, there's a point where it's like, okay, but can I get along with you enough to do business with you? Can I tell? And now I've gotten you to laugh a few times at me, so I mean already, which that kind of tells me that at the very least, if we met in person, right, you have at least some of my sense of humor. Right, you'll laugh at my bad jokes at least a little bit, right? So that's at least we have a common bonding ground at least right off the bat. Now maybe we do business together, maybe we don't. I don't know, but there's a chance, right? Now your partner in crime, it sounds like, or your acquaintance in crime in the business world, sounded like you pushed him in a good way. And that was like because he had to reassess his own assessment of you.
His own perspective on people. Yeah. I mean, I had, on the opposite side, I had someone who wanted to work with me based on the fact that I presented myself in an alternative way. So I had someone approach me at the end of the meeting and say, you know what, I like the way that you look. I like the way you present yourself. How can we move forward with a business relationship? And so I've had the variation between the two. And so I've just kind of learned along the way to accept what people think. And if it's not for them, it's not for me then. So
which is actually, I think, the best, the best. So we're going to get into your writing stuff here real quick. Like, I've been freelancing for a year, and one of the things I've learned in the last year is finding that niche, finding that who you are, how you stand out, all that other wonderful good stuff. That's a big part of the writing freelance game. So, I mean, the biggest challenge in any sort of business like that is figuring out how to stand out. And it sounds like for you, although I'm just going to be honest, right? I could see you totally in purple hair still. I'm not sure I could see you in pink.
Oh, yeah. The only reason my hair isn't colored is because it stopped taking the pigment.
Yeah.
So like, I dyed it for so many years.
I totally could see like dark. I totally could see like a dark.
Yeah.
I'm actually afraid if I saw you in pink hair, I'd go blind. Like, just because I'd see, I can't see you.
I've been literally every color, and there were times that I had such a variation, like the black washed out to a purple, so then I just put pink over top of the blonde, and it kind of went to this blue. Like, I've been every single color.
You were
it just stopped taking.
You were just in that.
It stopped accepting it.
Yeah. Your hair tapped out. So I can't do this no more.
Yeah,
I'm not your canvas.
Can you just stop? Like,
It's
like, okay, I'll find another way to modify myself. Like,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I mean, your hair tapped out, but your skin's like there's plenty of skin.
Yeah, my skin's like I'm here. So What can we do
I gotta ask
today?
this. So was it hair? So it was hair first and then tattoos?
Oh yeah. Well, I had a tattoo on I have a tattoo on my upper back. It's just like really tiny of a drawing I used to draw when in school. And so I that was my very first tattoo. So when I first turned 18, because 18 is like the time to do it, I got my nose pierced when my friend got her tongue pierced. And then we went back in and I got my tongue pierced when she got her nose pierced. And then she went and got a remembrance tattoo for her aunt. And so I went and said, well, I've got this high school drawing. I may as well put it on myself. And then like my first 45-minute tattoo, I ended up bawling because that's never getting covered up. That is never like, don't ever touch that. It sucked. It like, and I have a full half sleeve
Yeah,
and ink on this arm, ink here, and I've got one on my calf. And like, don't like that spot sucked.
it hurt. It hurt.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That or I was a wimp. I mean, I was like 20. So I mean, I'm gonna
I don't know.
say
'Cause, there are some very young women that really are tough as nails. I find toughness for most of us comes when we're older. We usually life has to kick us in the teeth a little bit before we get
okay.
to
So
that.
we're going with the fact that I was a wimp.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
We're sold.
If you're cool with that,
I'm fine. I'm fine.
not like at this point, like you probably would put me in like a headlock of doom, and I probably like would just pass out.
I mean, if we weren't provinces apart, that might happen.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So note this out. If I ever meet you in person, you might put me in the headlock. You might. That might be like your way of greeting. Okay. I'm just. Okay, that's fair.
Some people handshake, other people headlock. I mean,
at least it's not. At least it's not a chokehold. At least I haven't earned like MMA style. Like you're going out. I'm just gonna put you to sleep right now.
well, I do. I have been taking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, good. How's your guillotine game? How's your guillotine game? Is it good?
No. I mean, I only started taking it with the lockdown. I only have dummy practice. Like,
okay.
So
no triangles yet. No.
I know them, and my dummy has definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, my dummy has not fought back. So.
Okay. Awkward. I have siblings, so I know how to fight dirty, and by fighting dirty, I mean tickling, right? I mean, I can fight dirty like that, but I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like, yeah, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is like anyone that gets really good at that, you don't want to mess with them. They tend, they'll put you to sleep. They'll turn you into a pretzel, possibly a balloon animal, possibly masters. Masters do balloon animals.
I'm pretty sure balloon animal is the goal. So
the goal, yeah, okay. So no giraffe, and I don't want to be a balloon. That happened one time, never again. Just never, ever again. Right. No giraffe, just that. Just no. It's, crick in the neck. Not cool. Just not cool.
No, I try not to. I just learned it for fun to get into it. I wanted some form of self-discipline and training, so that was what presented itself.
Well, honestly, actually, any kind of discipline's good. Like so, you're a dabbler. You are. I've heard everything we've talked about so far. You're a dabbler. I heard music. I heard drawing. I heard we haven't gotten to writing. We've done MMA. We've done hair experimentation galore. Right. Body modification galore. Right. So am I missing stuff, or am I missing
creative writing?
I feel like you found a love there. Like I feel like that's not so much as a dabble, but as a discovery. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, right? But
I mean, that's kind of a lifelong discovery, I guess.
No, I get that. No, I feel like because there's passions, right? There's your passion.
Yeah.
But then there's
Yeah.
like interests, like all these like interests that shape your passion. They can give
Yeah.
you languages and tools. And I kind of feel hair, art, well, maybe hair might have been a passion to you, just hair tapped out. Like your hair just you had your career with the hair and it was done.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I've done well, and I used to be the one that my friends would be like, "Hey, can you dye my hair?"
Yeah.
So you
So that
used to
might
be
have
that.
been
Yeah.
that might have been a passion, but that it feels like
Yeah.
your hair retired on you, right? And you're like
Yeah.
cursed hair.
I
But
know.
anyways,
My hair forced me into another career path. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I feel like everything else has kind of been like the pursuit of interests in search of your passion. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but I kind of feel like that's what happened. Like you did something, and then one
yeah.
day you discovered, holy shit, I love this, and that's what I feel writing was for you.
I think for me, I just enjoy variation.
Okay.
So I get really sick really fast of one thing.
Mhm.
So if I've modified my schedule, like I do so many different projects layered at one time because that's what I need to do to keep myself actually focused and invested in them. If I was to creative write all the time, I'd probably get bored of it and I probably wouldn't want to do it. So I have to sparse it out with the interest of music and singing. I'm learning guitar. I'm relearning clarinet. I've got violin that I promised my uncle I'd learn. I'm trying to like I've got music. I'm do sound my own sound production, so I create layered videos of vocals to do like I've done so far Skid Row and some Lana Del Rey and where I do my own harmonies, and I wrote my own song that I'm just finishing getting the final things on. So but if I did all those all the time, I get so ugh, like I just yeah.
So
So I
you
have to do so many different things.
I realize this is kind of not in vogue right now, but travel. Was that a big thing on your list too? No.
No.
Wow.
I like no, I like local sightseeing.
Yeah.
And I used to set little challenges each year for myself. Like I'm totally afraid of flying. So that's probably one reason why I don't travel. But in 2015, I believe it was, I set myself a goal to take a plane. So a friend and I were in Victoria and on Vancouver Island. And he kind of just cleared his throat and looked towards the harbor where there was this lovely, like, I don't know, 8-seater freaking seaplane. And of course, my reaction, well, if the price is right, I guess. I did set a goal to take a plane this year, and why not go for the scariest, most rickety thing ever? So, yeah, it ended up being $120 for 20 minutes, and I'm like, frick, why did it have to be affordable? So we ended up, I was sitting in the plane seat. We picked the first one on the right behind the passenger cockpit. And the pilot gets in and says, "Did I hear it was someone's first time flying?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." He's like, "Good, you can come help me fly. It's my first time too." So So I hopped up into the cockpit, put on the big old headphones, and yeah, rode my first ever flight and only ever flight in the cockpit of a 8-seater seaplane.
You don't do anything halfway, do you?
No, well, yeah, apparently not, because
Yeah,
we take a tour boat afterwards. So one of those little tugboats that go around the harbor, and
those
they
are cool.
tell
I've done those.
me,
I've done
yeah.
those. Those are fun.
So they
Those are
tell me that you have to really watch the windsock because if you're like even one precise degree off, you could flip the plane. And of
yep.
course, my friend looks at me and says, "Well, good thing we did the plane first, hey?" I said, "Yeah, you're telling me." I didn't need, I didn't need another thing on top of that to worry about. Like,
So it's like I didn't need a new pair of underwear before, but
yeah,
now
no,
I
it's like you're going for flying, bring your own pants, okay? Like,
yeah. Hey, listen, we all have our fears. For me, heights actually is one of the few things I'm still afraid of. But it's
is
not
it
like
heights or like falling?
falling.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
not
it's
who
falling.
is afraid of heights, okay? It's
Yeah.
it's the how you're gonna get back down to the ground
Well,
type of fear.
so when I was a kid, there was this possibility that I was going to go on a hike with my dad and somebody he knew across like some trails in the Western Canada. So he'd have me go on logs. He terrified me a little bit. He's like, well, you gotta get good at that because if you there's this one area where it's just straight down, so I would just have this imagination where I have this giant log I was going across like da 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 da, and if I screwed up, right, I actually had like visions of me just like hanging onto the log for dear life, like I can't move,
Yeah,
right, and no man, like I learned how did I put this? I learned very quickly like yeah like that has always stuck with me just a little bit. It's like that it's a long way down. Like that part is like yeah like very little actually scares me. But that is still one of those things where I'm like that will give me anxiety. Like not much does. Like this hasn't given me anxiety really.
yeah,
I'm annoyed at other things as a result of this, but the I've made my peace with my own maker. I don't like it doesn't hit me the same way. So I'm just like
yeah.
whatever. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep doing what you're gonna do. But falling like again, it's just one of those very human things, right? That fear of falling kicks my
I'm
ass.
afraid of everything. Everything. Things that fly. I'm afraid of bees. I'm afraid of storms. I'm afraid of heights. Well, the falling or
Yeah,
how you get up. Like I have an issue with if I'm in control, I'm okay. So like hiking, tall mountains, those are like I love them. But I cried on the gondola going up the side of the mountain in a little tiny death box. I
yeah, it's
cried.
funny that sucks.
Um, yeah,
It's
I
fine. It's
cried.
fine. Death
As
box. Not
soon
fair.
as soon as I got to the top, I'm like, let's go. And we like climbed the side of the mountain. I was perfectly fine. And then started to cry, knowing that I had to come back down in that little box. And then of course, like there were kids in the little place and they were going, it's okay. We'll be down soon. I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's good. That you're fantastic.
It's okay. Listen,
Yeah, I know.
listen. Little kids kicking
Yeah.
ass in video games all
See,
the
but they
time.
don't know. They're looking out this fantastic little view at the tops of
Really?
trees along this little tiny wire that's like man-made put into the ground and man-made put into the
Yeah,
rock.
yeah. But see, here's the thing about kids, and this is the awesome thing about kids. See, they just go with the flow a lot better than we do.
Yeah,
They go with the flow. It's like, yeah, okay, this is the way it is, and they don't ask themselves we're like when we get older, there's just like this little computer in our heads that go, hey, wait a second, why
yeah.
am I in this death
The
box?
analysis of impending doom. Like
Yeah,
this is what we're calling this.
yeah,
It's like little computer processes that go, but this could happen and this could happen. Oh, and this. Oh, and
yeah.
here's another thing that probably won't happen, but might.
Well, see, I had I again little kid after personal childhood traumas. I had that little computer box and it got shut down because I came to a realization that if I spent my whole life worrying about what might happen, I never do anything,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
so and then also on the flip side is why am I only dwelling on the worst stuff? Right? Good stuff
yeah,
can happen too, right? Great
yeah.
stuff even, and it's and usually ends up like kind of somewhere in that happy medium, whatever that happy medium might be. Now, sometimes shit happens, but sometimes you actually fall into something better too. I mean, life is really
Yeah.
wonderful and strange that way. But we tend, and this is something I realized in the last little bit is we tend to worry about what we're afraid of, right? It's easier for us to believe in that than it is to actually believe in good things happening to us.
Yeah.
I think we all are a little messed up. But then again, I mean, bad things have happened to us all. But
I
good
think
things
we're,
happen
I
too.
think it's just that we were taught when we were young, like to analyze the risks of everything.
Yeah.
You're kind of made to walk that careful line. And I think you just kind of grow up with that. So you analyze what may happen. And I think some people just get locked into the possibilities of everything bad that can happen because maybe that's just an experience that they've been through. Consecutively, situations just end up bad. So you may as well plan for it.
Well, so yeah, maybe I'm. This is why I'm crazy. Maybe this is why I'm crazy. I've had a lot of bad things happen to me. They've made me bolder. It's odd. It's really like maybe I have a death wish. No, I don't think that's quite it. I as much as I'm well aware of, like, when that time comes, I think I'll be relatively at peace with it. Um, I've come to terms with the fact that I've come to terms with it, and so I don't want it to happen, but I've come to terms with it. So,
Yeah.
but everything I've been through like some terrible things. It's made me hungrier, more driven. I don't really look at the lion the same way anymore. I kind of look at it as like, and just go. And that might be my undoing someday. I totally acknowledge that
But I
might
think
be.
that's the line, right? You can have someone that is similar backgrounds and similar ways that they've come through something, but you can have one person where it's made it bolder, them bolder, stronger, and more driven, and the other one where they um, are caught in this is what happened to me, so this is how I am type
Yeah,
thing. So
yeah,
like I've been studying the difference between Sigmund Freud teachings, which is the psychology of cause and effect. It's like I am the way I am because of what happened to me. So it's like PTSD and trauma responses and things like that,
yeah,
which I definitely are something. I mean, there's a whole psychology base around it, right? So
absolutely.
on the other side of it, there's a guy, Alfred Adler, who talks about self-psychology and about the power of being.
Yeah,
So it's actually like you create the future that you have
yeah,
just based on your own choices. So he actually doesn't talk about the history and past trauma. He says that you can make a change because at the second that you realize a change is needed, means that you have the power and ability to create the change that's needed.
absolutely.
So,
No, I actually believe that. I believe that very strongly.
yeah.
So the top of my teeth are all fake. So I went through a very traumatic event that led to that, and I had to let go of hostility towards someone. And I really had to let go. Like I had to acknowledge something about that person I did not want to. It was a good thing about them, right? Because it was
Mm-hmm.
easier. It was easier for me to look at, like, the bad guy being the like him being the bad guy and I was the good guy, and like, the simplistic way of you know but sometimes just things happen, and
Yeah.
I had to realize, like, what, they did the best they could in that circumstance. There was a part of me that resisted that so strongly, but when I said it, I was able to let go, and it freed me. It changed me in a way that was very fundamental. Um, it also, I mean, it like that was something that I recognized. Like, I did not let my pain define me the same way anymore. I could let
Yeah.
it go. I find
Yeah.
as you get older, that's actually harder to do, not easier, right?
Yeah.
Right, but you can do it. It can be
Yeah.
done. And when you can do that, you can forgive people. And that is honestly freeing, because once you do that, if you can do that, nothing you have, nothing, you can feel anger towards somebody. But at the end of the day, that doesn't really impact that person at all. that's you, that's you being angry,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
impacting them, right? They can say sorry, but actually what they're doing when they're saying sorry is they're actually giving you a chance to let it go. That's all sorry does, right? I
Yeah.
can't change what I've done. Let's say I do something terrible to you. I can't change it. I can't go back in time and I can't change what I
And then
did,
not do, yeah, exactly.
right? I don't have the mechanism to do that. But
Yeah.
what I can do is I can say, I'm sorry, right? It's not much. Like in the grand scheme of things, I'm not really giving you all that much when I say that.
Yeah.
But what I am giving you is an opportunity to let it go,
Yeah.
right? If I give you that opportunity, now you can choose to keep it. I can't make you. I can't make you forgive me. I can't make you. And maybe you do forgive me, but you don't forget. Or maybe you can forgive and forget. And the people that can do that are the strongest people on the planet, right? If you can do that, I can forgive. Forgetting sometimes is very hard. Is still sometimes I sometimes probably should forget more shit than I do. Sometimes. But that's the thing, right? If you're angry about me for something, there's nothing I can do about that. You're angry, all right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like you have to recognize that by being angry or holding a grudge or being envious or any feeling you have towards somebody binds you to them.
Yeah.
So you gotta be
I've
very
also been like learning about projection and also perception.
mm,
So when you're angry at someone, it can be reflectant of something you either need to deal with in yourself, and a lot of the times you can't control what someone else does, and you can only control how you react to it. And so to me, like I went through quite a bit of hostility and aggression, and really through a lot of words and behaviors that I wish, you can't take it back, right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
can't.
absolutely. You can't.
But I was dealing with the steamroll of life where I was just running from myself and drinking a lot. So I got really, really hostile and really, really angry before I went along the road of healthy living and fitness. And I got sober, and I just kind of had to learn that that hostility and that aggression was really putting my own life down. Like I really had to come to terms with that people could only do what they could do in the moment, just like I could only do what I could do in the moment. And once you learn better. And so,
I think the hardest thing for me about that whole experience was the fact that there's a feeling that you let it happen, and sometimes it's actually not how it works at all. And that's
yeah,
a very hard one. That's a very hard line to kind of really make peace with because, again, going back to like that feeling of being in control, sometimes shit just happens. Like sometimes it
yeah,
just does,
yeah,
and sometimes you're the one at fault. And that's another thing too. Sometimes you're the bad guy, and
yeah,
that's a very interesting spot when you find yourself that you're the villain of the story. It's okay to be the villain sometimes. Sometimes it's actually necessary. Like, parents with kids will tell you this. Sometimes being the villain is a necessity to survive,
yeah,
right? But um, but it sucks when you hurt people, and it sucks when you recognize the fact that even if it wasn't your intention, the impact was undeniable, and you have to make peace with that part of yourself. That's a hard thing, but I think the hardest thing, even hard part for me was, like again, going back to my teeth. When I went the night I went right before I went to the dentist for the first time to start to really do the effort fixing my teeth, I cried because it wasn't really about everything that I'd been through to that moment to get me to this. It was the fact that I had let it happen. Right, I felt like I let it happen. I couldn't do anything about it. Like that. It was that weird combination of I was helpless, but also I let this happen, and I'm not sure why I let this happen. And this
yeah,
is something that I had to work out in my own system. It was almost like a demon I had to slay. Was that like
yeah,
what?
yeah. That's like times where, you either allow something or behavior kind of steamrolls, and you hadn't mentioned something. So in, you know, you have that kind of thought and self-criticizing thought of why didn't I say something? Why didn't I make a change before it had to get to this point? Like, why did I have to let it get that far progress before I actually did what I know I should have done, or before I, you know, changed a behavior, or before I ended a relationship? It's that, or like, for instance, like wake up calls. I think and talk about wake up calls all the time, about people, you know, getting health diagnoses and things that they could have taken care of previously, but you know, you steamroll it, and so then you're sitting there going, why didn't I take care of this sooner? Why didn't I make a change before this happened? And I think sometimes things just happen that that lesson needs to be there. Like if I didn't go through the freaking relationship that bottomed me out to the worst, just in myself, I allowed it. And like, I was 340 pounds. I was throwing up every day. I was in the hospital 8 times with dehydration. I was very, very unwell. Anxiety, depression, like it, it was not a good time. But I know I allowed it. Every single morning I got up and I looked in the mirror and I saw the changes. Every single morning I allowed that. And so I think that's what caused the aggression. When I finally ended it, when it was finally done, and it was, I had to do something to correct that in me. Why did I allow myself? Because I tanked myself. I know I did. And there were things and changes I could have made that didn't, but I had to experience that. I had to experience that to know that I never want to allow myself to get there again, to give up on the healthy resolutions, to give up on the weight loss, to give up on the fitness, to give up on all of that. I know is what keeps me going.
So I mean, the aggression isn't fully gone. Like I said, I'm gonna get a headlock. If we ever meet in person, I'm gonna get like a headlock of doom. So I mean, it's not fully gone, but
yeah.
at least
No,
it sounds like the heart, like going like in all seriousness for a second on what you're saying. It's the fact it's you were lashing out because you did the problem you had, whatever that ultimately was, terrified you, and you didn't know what to do with it. You didn't quite understand what you needed to do with it, right? Maybe you weren't ready. That's something too. Like there is something to be said about the fact that we all have to kind of, life will kick us like, okay, you got to deal with this now. Like you got to deal with this now. At some point, like you got to deal with this now. But even then, sometimes life will build you to that moment, right? You have to get there. It's a journey. So now, more often than not, and that's not always the case. Some people, it's life really is unfair, but more often than not, we are allowed a certain grace period with the baggage we have. We all are allowed to a point. Then there just comes a point where everything just goes, much like your hair. Your hair says, "I can't do this anymore."
Yeah, I know.
Right,
like
right,
force you into this other direction, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we all, like, there's that moment where it's just like, I think Adam Dries said this to me once. Like, sometimes we are allowed sometimes a suitcase of baggage, right, and then eventually that suitcase has to become a briefcase, and that briefcase has to become smaller. And I'm paraphrasing this so much. I don't know if you're listening or watching. Sorry, bud, I messed this up.
Yeah,
but,
I just butchered your message, but it's cool. No.
No. But the idea is, like, as we get older, there are things we carry that we can no longer carry.
Yeah.
And we have to let them go, or else we don't change, we don't evolve. Then what this baggage we have will slowly kill us, whatever that baggage is.
It just gets heavy.
Yeah,
very,
absolutely.
very heavy.
My arms aren't, my shoulders aren't that big.
Like, yeah, it takes its toll, and it takes its toll in so many different ways. Not only physically, but mentally, and just in the quality of daily life. Like, It's just, yeah,
No,
I've become a passionate about fitness. I've got quite a few courses and stuff, and so that's kind of outside of,
so what's your
creative.
discipline?
Hmm?
So what's your discipline? Like fitness is a lot of different things. It could be
Yeah.
bodybuilding, it could be like gymnastics, it could be
Yeah, no,
ballet.
I'm foundational body weight fitness. I like weights and I do lift weights. I lift weights for conditioning.
Mhm.
But I like to allow people to find what they enjoy. And so that's what I apply to my life. Like I do biking, hiking, walking, jogging, jujitsu, body weight type of flow movements. I've done yoga. I do dance. I like hip hop type dance. Yeah,
You're,
I,
you're,
I
you're just
I
gonna
like
kick
to
my.
try. Yeah, I
You,
actually I have a goal-ish. I've been saying it more because in that way it'll actually
mhm.
be a goal. But I like adore Ninja Warrior. Um,
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a cool show. That's a cool
I
show.
love Ninja Warrior, and I think it'd be freaking awesome for this fat high school student that went through a whole bunch of issues to go out on
Sorry.
Ninja Warrior and
You
pass a
just want to.
course.
Okay, okay. Do you want to compete or do you want to win? Do you just want to get to the door or do
Oh,
you want to blow it up?
I want to compete for the best for me. If that means
Okay.
I win, I mean, we've already known that I take an 8-seater plane versus a,
No. I
smooth
get you.
riding.
I get you. I. So I just bring this up only because I do feel like we all have our own goals. Like whatever those goals are, those are the
Yeah.
goals that I think we the ones we visualize are the ones we attain, right? And
Well,
so,
and that's not necessarily as true because I actually don't visualize. I can't see mental pictures.
really,
Yeah, so they have actually come out with in 2018 they came out with a study where it actually gave a name to it. So it's aphantasia, which is so I'm an aphant, which means that I can't see mental pictures. I can't visualize in my mind. It's just black. It's blank.
okay.
So they only found this out because someone had a stroke and lost their ability to see mental pictures. And so he told them, like, I can no longer see mental pictures. And they put this study out that he lost his ability. And people went, you mean people could see mental pictures?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
And that's what, like, being part of the writers' groups, that's what kind of with the creative writing and everything, people saying that they can see whole worlds in their mind. And I go, are you kidding me? That would be amazing.
okay. So for lack of a better word, okay, just as lack of a better word, how do you imagine then, if you don't mind my asking?
I don't. I concretely have to, I make vision boards. I write down goals
Okay.
in words. I make little notes for myself. There's so many other, I change it into a
So
different form.
okay, so this is an interesting question then for you specifically. Orwell believes that language controls thoughts. But since you don't have like a mental visualization of a thought, how do you interpret? I don't I'm trying to be careful because and
No,
one I don't want
I
to
am not gonna.
yeah right. I don't want to get headlocked of doom. But the other thing too is that like I want to I'm gonna get headlocked to doom, but but not for this reason. But
Christy, you may as well just come out and say it.
I want it to sound like because you're well thought of, very clever, smart, driven, badass woman. Like you are, but you interpret words very differently than I do. Like when I see a word, I see a bunch of different. I see things. Now I hear it too. Like for me, it's almost like from a sensory point of view. I see it. I sometimes can smell it. I sometimes can taste it. I sometimes can like. I always see it, but I can almost with everything else. I can sometimes I hit another sense. So when you hear a word, does another sense hit you sometimes, or is it more like you hear a word and you process it? It processes in a different way. If that makes, I'm not sure I'm saying this as clearly as I should.
Yeah, like I can't visualize it. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
like, you know, people kind of think, okay, well, how can you know and describe what this looks like? And I go, well, because that's like critical memory. There's a different, you know, there's a difference process
that's cool.
between visualization and critical memory, like pulling from a memory bank or reflective knowledge, like you know, based on common sense or continuity, like you've seen it a lot, regularity. So like with my writing and with my creative processes, I have to switch it. So like my poetry, I have to read out loud so that it kind of makes sense. For imagery, sometimes I'll go by feeling, like how something feels.
I get it. I think that's it's interesting to me because it's like it's trying to understand how you process it is very effective. It does not make people
taken along, because you come up with adaptations, because I never realized this was a thing, and so looking back, I kind of go, okay, there's probably a lot of ways that it's that I've come up with detours around that mental hook. Like for me, reading a book, if I'm reading a book, self-help, logical, straightforward, perfectly fine. If I'm reading a story-esque book, it's words on a page. Like this world doesn't open as people describe it. It doesn't.
I think I figured out something about you though, just based on that. I get why you are always dabbling in experiences. You hunger. Here's my theory. If I'm wrong,
okay.
You hunger for discovery. It's not that you get bored. I think that's part of it. I think it's more like you hunger for discovery because you don't visualize like most of us do. You compensate by going through real stimuli. I imagine that as a result, I'm just hypothetical.
Okay. That's cool.
You're a big art fan as well. You're probably a big music fan, right? Because the thing about those is, especially music, art and music, like illustrations, pictures of that, because they evoke feeling. They don't necessarily evoke, the image almost doesn't matter because you can almost sense what the artist is actually trying to convey in the image. And that's what you hunger for. Because for you, because you don't see it, you fill the gaps in other ways. Like I said, because that's for you a big thing. And discovery is huge for you. Because for you, that means it builds the banks and allows you to grow. You probably are always seeking simply because for you, it builds you up. It gives you a data bank, but it also because of that, it means more. Because now you're like, I've discovered this world, this real world around me that I can see and explore, and it's magical. It's almost shocking you don't travel, actually. It's actually kind of shocking to me.
Well, the thing is that there's safety in Google Travel. So I just like pick a spot on Google Maps and I go terrain seeking in the safety of my own home.
I'm gonna make.
If you're scrolling really fast, you're skydiving, like.
So I'm going to make a personal bet with you right now that when this is over, which it will come to an end at some point, one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
When it does, right? Probably at some point, this bug to travel will eventually happen with you. It might not happen right away. I'll make that bet with you.
I will make that bet with you.
Okay.
I will make that bet. I will sit here at 50 years old and be like, it's cool.
No. We're not going to go to 50 because I want no. for me, for you, because you remind me of a friend of mine, and I'm gonna. This is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say is you're gonna keep compiling that experience bank up more. And what you're gonna do, because you're not exactly fearless, but I think you and me have something in common, is we both have the why not go for it, who gives a fuck factor in ourselves. We do it a little differently. I love to travel, and I'm gonna travel one way or the other sooner or later. It's who I am. I can't. It's who I am. So, but the thing about that is, you and me are going to compile more and more and more experiences. Now, maybe at the point where I'm going to be like, you know what? Maybe I should settle down somewhere at like the ripe old age of 80. You'll be like, let's go travel. Let's see. Let's go. Let's. Oh, I got like this crazy.
But I mean, I think that there's a difference in travel. Like I'm a homeland, homebody type traveler. So like going through the mountains, seeing nature-made structures, you know, waterfalls, mountains, the ocean. Like I'm probably your live in a small movable trailer and just hop from activity to activity. I'm not your fly to 5-star.
Fly.
Yeah, I know. But I'm not your like 5-star resort traveler.
No.
Or, like move separate countries. Like I'm like, let's go tour across Canada. Let's go feed polar bears in the Arctic or try and pet them. Like I'm.
No. See, and that's why I think it's gonna. That's why I think it's gonna happen at some point. Because I didn't say fly. No, I did not say
I'm like kayak to.
Yeah, no, I can totally. I can totally see it. I can totally see it, and it wouldn't be out of place. So, was I right about you? But your hunger for stimuli and discovery.
Part of it, and it might also be the fact that I can't visualize and I can't see. So I might just enjoy learning and using the skills that I have so that they don't disintegrate. Like I like to continuously apply. And then I also know that we are like fantastically intelligent beings that only use a small percentage of our brain. So in what I have like this drive for knowledge, because it's one thing that makes us unique, and it's one thing that has adapted over time is just the ability to learn. And like I'm alive once, so to me I'm like, let's freaking learn everything.
So I'm going to give you, I think, a compliment. I really give people. I'm going to give you I think a very cool compliment. I'm going to ask this question, and please don't beat me much. How old are you? How old
am I?
Yeah.
Okay. I am 36.
Okay. I'm 39. Right. I know I look like I'm 12. I'm 39.
Yeah.
So you have somehow, and this is to your, I think, ginormous credit, maintained two things that are really impressive to me. Your curiosity, which is incredible, and your open-mindedness. That's a very rare thing, right? The older we get, the more that is attempted to be beaten out of us, but you still got it. And that is awesome. And I think that's an impressive thing. And honest to God, you've been a pleasant surprise today. And I mean that in the best possible way. You've been a pleasant surprise. So we got to talk about your writing at some point here. So let's
at some point. Yeah, no, it's not drawing unless you want like one of those stickmen playing stock or flip books.
I actually started drawing 6 months ago. Do you want to see some?
Yeah.
One sec. Ta-da! So I was afraid of looking bad. And anatomy still kicks my ass, right?
Mm.
Evil henchman. You can tell he's an evil henchman. Like, did you kick
Oh yeah.
flowers into this guy? Like, I mean, look at that, how evil that porn stash is. Like, look at how evil that is, right? Let's do
Yeah.
another one. Let's do another one here. Let's write that one. I don't know if you're a Legend of Zelda person, but if you are, that'll look familiar, I'm sure.
Okay.
And the obnoxious boots. Look how obnoxious they are.
Yeah.
They're giant, right? Let's do little duck dodgers of the 24th and a half century. Right? His guns are not. His gun doesn't work. So I decided that I was going to expand my language and my vocabulary in what I do. I kind of always wanted to do comic books. So I've been learning expression and I've been doing all these different things and sold 2 pieces of art this year, which I think is a really, really cool thing, right? They were
Yeah.
for $5 each, but it's okay.
Hey.
Yeah. Don't
You
matter.
sold something. You're accomplished. Like
yes. Sorry, I'm a professional or something.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Professionals sell their work. So
yeah. So the point though is I've constantly worked at trying to get better at things, and this has informed everything else I do. But you and I feel like everything else you've done on some level or another has informed your writing. So how did you discover that your lifelong pursuit of writing and everything else, and where did that start, and where did that go, and where we at?
well, I just started writing when I was young, like a lot of creatives. I spent a lot of time by myself, and so that kind of relates to you do what you can do on your own. And so that was reading, that was singing, that was writing. And so I kind of, when I wasn't developing my voice, I was writing. And I mean, one of my earliest poems was with a girl in grade 5.
Okay.
And it was, I want to walk in the steps of my brothers. I want to feel the way my mothers once did, the graceful walk of people before me. I want to see my life that rests ahead. And so we wrote that in grade 5 together. And from there, I just kind of continued writing small poetry. I have a very short attention span. So I tend to stick to short stories, poetry. I'm 3/4 of the way through a novel, which is my 10-year 10-year endeavor here. But when I was young, I have a little scribbler written in pencil, of course. So I have to go back through because you know how pencil kind of fades out over the years. So I have that scribbler was written a novel story when I was in grade 5. I was 10 years old. And then I just kind of just kept writing, I guess. I mean, we have the ability of language, stream one word after another to try and get a point across. So to me, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. So for me, it was like everything else in my life. It was kind of a happy accident. I discovered my writing, like my love of writing, when I was doing a contest in London, Ontario at 13. And then I kind of wrote my first novel during that. It's okay. I cringe at most of it, but every once in a while, I'm like,
some of my older stuff I don't look at.
Yeah, but every once in a while, there's one scene in particular. He was brilliant. There was one scene he was like, okay, you were good here, really, really good here. I could still do it better today, but don't matter. That was good, and what you did there was awesome. Never take that away from you. But a couple things. 2 people. Rich Perota, hey. Mandy E. Barnett, yeah, she is very multi-talented. Yeah, I mean, Kelsey is awesome. So hi everybody.
Hi, Mandy.
Yeah. But I've just learned to embrace my accents, and I've kind of just gotten things out there, and suddenly I'm good or something. At least I put words on a page, and now I'm drawing stuff, and and I have a big mouth. As you can tell, I'm really good at this talking thing, right? Okay, kind of,
That's all
right?
right. It's a
Yeah.
skill.
It's a skill. It's a total skill,
It
right?
is a skill.
No, it really, really is. I learned that from a business and communication is very important, and it's amazing how many people don't do it well that probably
Yeah.
need to do it well. So, but I got work as a result, so I can't really complain. It kind of works out in the end for me, but no, like it's one of those things where it sounds to me like in your case though, like you like shorter stuff, like short stories, poems, that kind of stuff. Is that like that is that like your comfort zone?
I'd say my comfort zone is anything I can sit down and finish right at one sitting.
Okay.
Because my problem is that on top of not being able to see pictures, I also don't have a very good memory. And so I can recollect things if something triggers it or starts it, but for the most part, if I read, and that's why I have trouble reading novels, that's why I listen to like audiobooks and things like that, is because when I put the novel down, it's gone. And unless I've read something consecutively, or unless something really sticks out, I can never remember where I was. And so I'd have to read the exact same amount that I read to that point in order to continue forward. So I have the same thing with writing. So I've written, like, for instance, my novel, I'm about 75% of it done, but I have to go back and read it before I start writing in it again because I can't remember it.
So, do you plot at all? Like, do you plot?
I do, for the most part. I mean, a lot of my writing just comes out.
Okay.
It just comes out in an order. I don't know if it's just natural talent or if it just kind of just happens. I do plot if I need to. I started making like a character list and their personalities and things, and I do teach a creative writing workshop where we do talk about storylines and plot lines and character developments and under the different sections of your story. So I have the knowledge and I know the basis of how it should be done to plot out. And I think that's part of my challenge is working with that. That's why I've challenged myself with this book. And I mean, technically, this book is an idea from one of my only memories of a dream that I actually saw. So I actually had a dream that had full picture and intense feeling of like there was just suspense in my actual dream. And so I'm like, okay, I got to write this. So that's kind of where that concept came from. And I've only had one other dream where I'm going to write that as well. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it is I just trying to finish it.
So, okay. I mean, this is just a suggestion. You can take this with like a grain of salt if it doesn't work for you.
Cool. Okay.
But in your unique circumstances, um, because of the fact that just how your mind works, you don't visualize stuff. But what you can do, right? And you like going in short bursts, right? But what you probably can do is you could probably write down what I would call like even if it's just like a 5-page outline of your story, right? Even if you don't follow it, you don't need necessarily to follow it completely, but
Yeah.
it almost would be like your roadmap. Like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do,
Yeah.
right? And then when you get there, it's like, damn it, why doesn't it work? Right.
I like the concept of that.
Yeah.
The thing is that you know how stories evolve and develop kind of their own flow and their own
Oh, absolutely.
role and the mind of their own sometimes. Well, plus you've kind of learned that I'm a don't do the easy, kind of go the hard way type person. So my story ended up having like 7 main characters.
It's a lot of main characters. It can be done. It can be done. It can
It,
be done.
it's they're all connected in some way,
Well,
so it
sure.
does make sense. But it happened, and I'm like, great. Now how do I deal with this? This is fantastic.
It's like you're like this.
So
I got this.
yeah,
I got this.
yeah,
I got
yeah.
this.
No, like
So
yeah.
so so the whole the old how do you make God laugh thing comes to mind. How do you make God laugh? Tell him the plans, because that's not how life works. Like that's good. You
Yeah.
got plans. That's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and there's another character. Okay, cool. Like
Like
we'll roll with this.
it's like
Yes.
well, just roll. Let's just go. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Let's
Tears
just
in your
keep
eyes.
going.
Just tears. Just
Just
tears.
keep
Just
going.
tears.
I
Just
am
tears.
so I try and do I attempt to try and do nano national novel writing month in November's to try and keep myself to accountable to writing it. And I try and set up, you know, online meetings with people, other writers that just give us a little bit of time to just write on our own projects, but it keeps us accountable because this is our time that we've allotted for it. So, it helps to keep accountable. I mean, there's through the Writers Foundation that I'm part of, Writers Foundation of Strathcona County, there's a whole bunch of members that are now, multiple genre published authors. So I keep the inspiration going through just knowing people that are still progressing through it. And I know sometimes it's just about sitting down to write. And as you've learned, I have a lot of different things that keep me going. And
Yes.
so I always have to constantly shift my priorities, right? So I have to constantly go, okay, what's going to fill me now? And what do I need right now? And so, like, I have to bring, like, right now, I'm learning the guitar and it's actually going really well. But that's put violin on the back burner, right? So it's just like I constantly pull. And apparently, like in 10 years, I'm going to be maybe really good at all of them. But like I admire people who can sit down and like, this is my focus for this year is to finish this one
So
project, one thing, and then I'm like, oh, I'm just going to take 10 years for 10 things. It's cool. It's good.
okay. So I'm gonna push back slightly on this one. I have a
Okay. All right. I'll accept it.
no,
Go
no,
on.
it's not. I believe that this is partially correct, right? This is part. I don't doubt what you're saying at all, but I feel there might be one little more other thing that goes with it too. So I'm gonna ask this question because
Okay.
I feel like when it comes to your job, your priorities in life, you get shit done. I don't actually feel like that's your thing. But when it's about you, do you push quite so hard?
Uh, I mean, yes, but see, to me, I feel like there is a process of concentration. So like I had to we talked about going through that low. Well, at that point I had to get fitness and the routine of fitness going. So that was my concentration, that was my priority. Weight loss, the health, priority of nutrition, and then you go through, I had some family losses, so then that prioritized, and then you go through to, you know, my schooling for personal training and for, I'm a meditation instructor. I'm now a lean body coach. I am a postpartum and prenatal specialized trainer. I'm in the process of holistic health coach. I've got some other training that I'm doing as well. I also install underground sprinkler systems for the past decade or more, digging trenches out in the summer months. And I work part-time at a doctor's office.
No, 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 note to self, that headlock's gonna hurt. That headlock's actually gonna hurt.
So that's why I talk about priorities. I constantly have to shift them. And yes, sometimes my own creative priorities kind of take a back burner to some of the other professional developments. But I feel like you work really hard for years. You kind of, I don't know, I've made progress in other areas where I haven't made progress in some, right? So I kind of just
I think I figured out something else about you, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try.
Okay.
Here's the I have a universal theory about everybody on this planet. It doesn't matter who you are, what your situation is. It does not matter. You will do exactly what you want to do, no matter what. That's my theory. Now, here's my theory with you.
Okay.
You love being creative, but I think you love serving more. And I think because of that, I think fitness is almost like fitness and health for you is almost like the balance of both. Because you realize where you were and you never want to go back there again. So you staying fit keeps you in a position that you'll never go back there again. But also, it gives you the benefit to help other people. And I think a lot of people underestimate how much of a high that is, right? I think a lot of people underestimate, right? It is a great thing to watch people that you believe in aspire and achieve great things on their own. There's a lot of pride in that, even though you know as well as I do, they did all the work. All you really did was give the encouragement and the permission to do it. But it's awesome being a part of someone's growth, and there is a reward to it that people that have never done it, right, will never fully understand.
Yeah.
My theory with you is this. I'm not saying you don't love being creative. Again, you're someone I think that enjoys the experiences of life. But if you had to choose, I think you enjoyed the service of helping others grow more so than even your own creative pursuits.
I think you're pretty on par with that, because I mean, technically, a lot of the poetry and short poems and short pieces that have come out in recent years are more inspirational. So I don't want other people to experience the lows. I think that's a very hard place to be. It sucks. And so if there's anything that I can help through what I've been through and through journey and everything, ultimately, I think that our purpose technically, and that goes back to the Adler way of thinking. So Alfred Adler, the self-psychology is that your purpose is interrelationship serving. Because ultimately there would be nothing for us to learn if we were on the earth alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
We would have all the knowledge that we need.
The challenge of a creative, more often than not, is finding out how best they serve. Because like inspiration is great, but who are you inspiring? What message, what story are you trying to tell for people to read, write, and listen to?
Yeah.
For you want that. But you like seeing that the result of you working with somebody, training with somebody, sparring with somebody, maybe down the road, fixing that sprinkler, because service is valuable. Service is actually, it can build character.
Well, and I love the fact that when I go into a yard and it's not working, and then when I leave and it's like awesome, I love that.
Yeah.
I like that. And I mean, it's there is definitely something to the applicable knowledge. And I look at a lot of the different jobs that I've been through and experiences that I've been through. And that's like, I used to run a company for business assistants. So I worked on a lot of different projects, and I do like website designs, and that was exactly the nature of it. It's basically like after you know, I'm learning their business and helping on their goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the purpose of my business, was to serve.
And I can respect the fact that you're honest with it about it. Like that's like I the because here's the flip side of like a lot flip side of want. Most people, again, people do what they want to do. The pro to that is you always do it. The con is the question is always, are you in control of your wants, or do your desires control you? In your case, because you're very honest about what your priorities are, you know what you want, you dictate it, and you go get it, and that's awesome, right? And it really doesn't matter what that looks like. The bottom line is that's what you're doing, and that's great, right?
That's where it is. I mean, I originally the other policy I have in life is that if you don't know, you learn. And so I've always been financially I grew up with my mom, and so like it's always been financials has always been an issue. And so you know, going to college or university, I started work when I was 17. Like there wasn't a lot of opportunity. And yeah, I know lots of people that worked a job while they went to university and paid for that. I get that. But it was never in my cards. I ended up getting my own car because I was moving around a lot, and so I always had to change jobs. So I got a car instead, so that it would help me get to and from the same job no matter where I lived. And so then to me, I could buy micro when I started getting into fitness and training, and decided that I wanted to be more applicable in preventative health. I didn't want to help sick people. I don't mind helping sick people, but I wanted to try and see what I could do to deter. It's like the old adage of quit pulling people out of the river, figure out why they're falling in. So I wanted to become preventative health. And so I'm like, well, how can I do this financially? It's super expensive. And I had been helping a friend with his music for a long time, helped design one of the albums that he put out, and just was working a lot of administration and stuff for him. And he said, well, go take your course. So I ended up getting into like it had all the information that I needed to become professional, and it allowed me to do it on my own time, so that I could learn the way that I learn, and then apply that knowledge. So that's kind of how I started, was just micro increments. And so then I buy a course and I learn it in my own time, which I'm a very quick learner. Like that's why I can do the business assistance. That's why like I went working at a trucking yard, and I was driving a shunt truck parking 52-foot trailers, and like driving the machinery. And but then they realized that I organized their full equipment shed and set up a check-in and check-out, and realized that they didn't have track of their equipment. So they are like, she's good in the office. So they ended up bringing me into the office, and I sat down for training at the trucking database, a full logistics system. And they're like, okay, you've got her to train you for 2 days. After 20 minutes, she's like, you've got this, don't you? I'm like, probably, yeah. She's like, okay. And she left. And then it was just my job. So like,
Were you dispatch?
No, I was logistics.
Okay.
So I had to follow up with logistics, where our trailers were, who had them, what third party company was taking it. Like there's a lot of
no. I get that. There's two ends of that, right? There's the dispatch end where you're the middleman between you and the truckers, and that sometimes I've known dispatchers that have been great at logistics. I've also known them that have been nightmares at logistics. Some dispatchers are great with people, and some dispatchers are great at logistics, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not the
Yeah.
same people. Sometimes.
Yeah.
So
So it's just the learning. It's the aspect of taking the opportunity that was presented to me. And if small increments of money was what I decided to invest in, then that's what progressed me to learning down the path that I did, and knowing that I just want to apply skills that I know. Like, I do like to be applicable, and I do like to serve, and I do want to do good. So that's kind of,
that's not a terrible way to be. It really
yeah.
isn't, right? I am of the belief, that as long as you're cool with what you're doing and you're honest with yourself, if this is what you want to do,
Yeah.
good luck, kick ass. That's it. There's really nothing else to say. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all there is to it, right? I enjoyed the creative stuff. I enjoy meeting people like you and hearing a bit of their story. And like I said, now I know the headlock's really gonna hurt. Really, 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 really gonna hurt now. I was jesting earlier, but now it's like, no, she's gonna kill me. It's gonna be like my. You're gonna come back. It's like, why is your head this small? It's like, oh, and then then the witch doctor song is, or I am the witch doctor, and then you're singing ooh, ee, ooh, and then they go, then he shrunk my head. It's like, that kind of thing. It's like, what? But you got a really cool story, and I do hope you finish your novel. I do hope. I think for you that will open other doors, right? When you get to that moment.
But I mean, we're talking about serving, right? But like we're just coming out. I'm the president of the Alberta Author Cooperative, which were cooperatives that's just coming out of Alberta. Because we've been talking about my travel-esque or my lack of, and I'm very homebody. I feel like if we support each other in a small knit community and then expand out from there, you are stronger in a foundation. And so, so the Alberta Authors Cooperative is about working together and being mutually profitable as authors and writers in the literary arts. And so it is just really an engine that I've got some really super talented people on the board with me. And it's ground up cooperation.
No, it's cool. I love the Alberta community. There's some really amazing people that live there that are incredibly creative. They're creative, like geniuses. They really, really are. And the only thing I've always thought that was the downside to the collective was the reach. Did not always hit. The reach wasn't always what it could and should be. Because let's be honest, I have fans, one or two, but I have fans. You have fans, and others have fans. And the fact of the matter is, if we work together to reach people, whatever those niches are, like you do poetry, I do poetry. So it's like, okay, maybe we should get together. Who else do we know that does poetry? And we talk, and it's like, okay, let's see if we can connect and expand our networks, because that's the business end of writing. It's not. The business end of writing is no different than any other business. It's about building your customer base, whatever that customer base is. Now for writers, B2C, that's your readers. Your B2B is other publishers, movie companies, game companies, like whatever, like even big corporations for sponsorships too, because that does happen as well. Like that's your B2B, and having people reaching in both worlds, whoever they might be, that would greatly benefit not just Alberta, but if there's like if you guys figure it out perfectly, like people like me might come and steal it. Like, hey, this works. Let's spread this all over the place, and then let's work together. Because the other thing too, a lot of our authors don't really realize. Some authors have this thing that we're competition. We're really not, right? Yeah. Kelsey, I hope I say this right. Hoople? Did I get that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's only one of you. Your voice is yours, right? Thank God there's only one of me. right? Because right, and I have my voice, and it's unique, and it stands out, and it's it is what it is, and you know you can't do what I do, and I can't do what you do, right? We could tell the same story and be completely different how we tell it, and that's
Yeah.
awesome, right? So, let's work together. Let's work together. Let's see if we can take over the world and stuff, and just get people to know that we are out there and that we rock, right? So,
Well, that's kind of the idea of the cooperative. It is like it's applying the skills that we have together so that we can grow exponentially. So it's like it's the idea of this person can't fish, so but this person knows how, so let's teach you to do it. So I'm a marketer, I'm a business networker. I have many skills from design. I've built the website. I've built the website for the Writers Foundation. I've built my own. I've built like 10 plus websites. I write content. I'm well spoken. I do proposals. I've done cold calling, marketing, design, logo design. I the Alberta Authors Cooperative. I created the design from a design that was drawn by my mom. So I just feel like there's a lot of skills that people have the ability to learn.
sure.
And by being a part of a cooperative that's willing to teach, and that's only in the membership aspect. And on the other side, you have promotions and the ability to have a face for the engine, have someone that can promote in the words that we want to say, because not all authors are able to promote themselves. Not all authors can read their work, but they can learn to. They can learn to become that forward, that ownership of the business that being an author is.
You can teach authors the headspace it requires to approach their works as the businesses they are.
Yeah.
Which is something that a lot of authors are still wrapping their heads around. It's not the good old days anymore of I can write at home and no one's going to watch and know. It's now I have to do this, I have to do that because I write books, but I do a podcast partially to promote me. Right? I'm constantly marketing. It never stops. And I'm okay with this. But someone that's maybe just getting started, like, I don't know which end of the pool I'm jumping in. You're like, okay, here's the kiddie pool. And then you're secretly sucker them. You're just going to push them right into the stream. That's okay. That's okay.
Well, and the thing is how do you know, like, for instance, with my fitness clients, we don't know what they want to do until we discover something that they enjoy. So the only way that you find that out is by trying different things and trying different methods. And like I've got a client that has made such good progress, but wants to become a power lifter. And so like there, you finally find what you want. Another one that wanted to become a marathon. Like I want to be a ninja warrior in obstacles, right? So by trying different things, you know what you want. And so by meeting and networking and experiencing different formats, you kind of learn your own voice.
Yeah.
So,
which is something every author needs. Every author absolutely needs it. So I'm going to ask, I think, a super tough question then about your collective. Are you ready? If you were to describe it in an elevator pitch, how would you do it?
In a what?
Elevator pitch.
Okay.
Do you know what an elevator pitch is?
Yeah, well, I've been to networking events.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Yeah.
That is putting me on the spot.
Yeah, it is. But I'm an all-important publisher, or whatever. I'm not that important, but because I do think there is I have a feeling I know what your actual number one skill is, but we'll see what you think, because this is your collective, not mine. So
Okay, so the Alberta Authors Cooperative has a basis in literary arts, and it really wants to provide networking, opportunity, marketing, education for authors, writers, and people who love the literary arts and who are supporters. So we provide tips, we provide training, we also provide promotion. So we have local Alberta author books to support our own cooperative.
very good. I like that. That was good. That was good.
I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know how this is
No,
going to
no,
come
no,
out.
no, no.
I didn't have time to write this down.
No,
Like,
no. But
you have like 10 people you can wait through at a networking event. You go, oh yeah, that was good. That was good.
well, no, because well, I'm of two minds, right? One is you have to believe it. Like I don't feel like confidence is your issue. All right, so it's like I don't think you have a confidence issue at all. I feel like you're very sure of who you are. So for me, the big test for anybody I hear a pitch for is, do they believe it? Because honestly, that's going to be what sells people or what doesn't. Because if you don't believe it, people will hear it. If you do believe it, people will hear it, right?
The thing is that I kind of live my life to prove that people, even with confidence issues, can become anything they want. Because
Absolutely.
you say that you don't think that I have confidence issues, but that's something that I actually struggle with. I choose not to allow it to affect or make my decisions for me. So, like, the reason why I became a karaoke host over decades ago was because I saw my friend, the extrovert, and I admired his stature. I liked his ability just to go on a microphone and control this audience. And so I became a karaoke host, and I hosted. And I'm telling you that I would have anxiety attacks going to work because I was so scared about getting behind that microphone. But I would just tell myself, do it. Just do it. Just talk. And as soon as I started talking, as soon as the music started playing, it was good.
Yeah.
So I do that every time I go up on stage. I do that every time I host an event. I do that every time I MC. I do that every time I'm on a podcast or an interview. I do that every networking event. I do that every single time that it's required of me to push myself, because I'm the only person that can do that for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's important for people to understand that just because you have self-confidence issues, just because you have anxiety, or just because you think you can't, that the belief is there that you can, that it can change by just doing it.
So I got another nice thing to say about you. Are you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you're pretty brave. Bravery is, if you define bravery, is not being fearless. Bravery is looking into the face of fear and going for it. More often, truthfully, the nature of fear in a healthy way, right? Is the fact is that most of the things you really want in life terrify you. They just do. They're things like, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I'm this, or if I'm not going to do that. But at some point, you have to wrestle with that fear if you're going to push forward. More often, the things we truly want in this life, the price we must pay is we must look our fears in the face and move forward anyway.
Yeah.
So you're very brave because you do it every time. Although I sincerely hope you weren't intimidated coming on the show with me, because I'm certainly not that guy, right?
Yeah.
But you know, some people go. I do see people get nervous coming on my show sometimes, and like, seriously, it's just me. we're just gonna talk about whatever the hell we're gonna talk about. We had literally no plan when we came on. We came on board. I noticed your tribal-esque tattoo that looks like, and that's where we started, and look where we went. We went from this to your project to help out at least the province of Alberta for the time being, and anyway, and everything in between got to. But honestly, you're an amazing woman. You're brave. You've overcome a lot. You're a problem solver. You enjoy and you enjoy helping others. Those are amazing qualities, and I wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So, Miss Kelsey, I think we have an interview here. What do you think?
I think so.
You think so?
I'm pretty sure.
You're very sure? Did you have fun?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Did you have fun? Did you have a good time and chill? So you mentioned yeah, I know I'm saying this wrong. You mentioned the Alberta. I for some reason collectives in my head. Just
I know you're like the Borg. No.
Yeah. I know. It's just in my head.
No.
I'm so sorry about this. So
cooperative.
Cooperative. Yes. It's like, why is collective in my brain? It just is. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But what I will say is, you did the elevator pitch for it, the cooperative. Tell people where they can find it and how people can find you.
Okay, well, Kelsey Hoople is my name. Day1always.ca is my website. It has all of my current projects, as well as my creative writing and my songwriting and singing. So day1always.ca, based on my day one policy. Every time you make a decision, treat it like day one, you're sure for success. So Alberta Authors Cooperative is albertaauthors.cooperative.ca, and it has all the information there of plans and pricing, but it also has there will be writing tips and different business skills, marketing skills, publishing information, as well as, so I mean, that's for everybody. And then promotion aspect, we do look to promote our Alberta authors, but we're not adverse to communication and networking. So there are forums to get involved with, as well as probably opportunities for guest writing and things like that. So
pretty freaking cool. And do you have social media like Twitter, Instagram, any of that stuff?
Yeah, we're starting with Facebook. We do have Twitter. We're active on Facebook with the Alberta Authors. It is Alberta Authors on Facebook, and you can find it on there. I'm active on Facebook, Instagram, my website. That's kind of where I'm.
So I didn't ask this. I think I should ask this before I wrap this up with you. What's your song style? What do you sing? Like,
everything. Everything. Yeah, when I sat down to write the song that I wrote was just to a backing track of the keyboard, because I can't play many instruments and I know like 2 or 3 chords. So the backing track I just put on like a marching beat, and then I wrote like 4 chords progression to it. And then all of a sudden this rap song came out. So, and like this heavy, intensely messaging rap song about the world. So it's super in depth, and that's what came out. It's called One Love, One World, One Choice. And it just kind of came out. But I mean, I sing everything.
She drops some bars, ladies and gentlemen. She drops some hard bars on there.
Yeah.
That's all
good. I have on my website. I have the hook, the chorus of the song. I sing it a cappella on the video in the footer of the website. But I'm just working on getting the recording together, vocal, and then I'm just going to release. I've made a full video for it through stock footages and images that I paid for. So I just create this video, and it's super intense and super
That's cool. That's really cool.
super all the feelings. So there
Super
it
all
is.
the feels. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
So
Good luck with everything. I think, yeah, like, wow, like you're awesome. Like you're really, really awesome. And no, I wish you truthfully nothing but the best going forward. Keep rocking. And if you ever want to come back, you're more than welcome. Right? Maybe next time, hopefully, if the stars align and all that other fun stuff, maybe we can do this live somewhere. We could karaoke, but I'm gonna warn you up front. I'm terrible at it. I will murder. Songs will die if they come out of me. Like they will literally die. I have no fear. Like for me. See for me, I learned like I've already had some bad things happen to me, even like on stage. The worst things you can possibly imagine have happened. And when that does kind of happen to you, you lose your fear because it's like,
because yeah, what else can really happen?
Yeah, exactly. You kind of get to that point. So I mean, I don't have stage fright. The typical, it's one of those things. Sometimes the things you really terrify you, sometimes they do walk up and kick you in the face. Ironically enough, sometimes that's actually a blessing. Sometimes you wish they didn't kick you in the face, but sometimes it's actually a good thing, in the long run, right? So, but
so you're saying that you'll do a duet?
I would totally do a duet, but I'm going to warn you right now. It will die. The song will die. It may not be a song you really like, because if it does happen, you may not like the song quite so much. You'll be like this. You'll give me a hug. We will never do this again. And I'll be like, I understand.
Like this won't happen. Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. No, but I'll do it. Like I am not like I literally have no fear. I'll do it. But if it's a song you like, yeah, you might want somebody that. Okay, I'll give you the story before I wrap up. So CanCon in Ottawa is a night. So I decided to do a song I could do 20 years ago. It was Aerosmith's "Falling in Love Is Hard on the Knees." It's an obscure one of theirs because it's from their album like Nine Lives. Now, maybe I couldn't do it back in the day because maybe I had a little too many beers in me, but I thought I could do it. I thought I could do it. That song died. I put it on Facebook to all Aerosmith fans out there. I went on karaoke.
I am very
I'm so sorry because the song died literally. So it's like, here's $5. Please don't do that again. Right? Please don't do that again.
People pay you not to sing.
So well, that's the songs they like, right? Because because it's one of those things like I want to keep like no, I'm just it was just one of those things where I tried. I thought I had it, and I just didn't. What I can do, like honestly, decently up there, like stuff like Linkin Park. I can do rap stuff okay up there, right? Okay, as long as if I'm somewhat familiar with the song. Okay, I'm not so into the game and rap that I could like. You're never going to see me do DMX up there. I couldn't do it, but I might be able to pull off a couple Eminems. I can definitely do Linkin Park. But
I've done Eminem. I've done Linkin Park. Yeah, I've done AC/DC.
AC/DC, I don't like. Their voice range is deceptive. Like another one. Another one that's like that is Metallica. You think James Hetfield's easy, but then you try it, and it's no. It's a nightmare. It's like, oh my god, like that.
No, as much as I enjoy Metallica, one of the only songs I ever touched was "Sad But True," because it's in a range that is pretty well. He goes really low sometimes for me. So other songs like "Nothing Else Matters" is one of my favorite songs. But I would
try Wherever I'm in Rome. I would try that.
That's a good one.
I don't know if I could do it. I honestly do not know if I could do it, but I would try that one.
I've done For Whom the Bell Tolls as well.
That one seems hard.
It's fun.
It's fun, but that one seems because For Whom the Bell Tolls, like that's doable. But then, but it's the fact that his verbiage is also incredibly quick for most of that song. So it's just like he's got that pitch that's hard to hit, and then he's going like for him a quick pace, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
God, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can do that. But
But most people don't really realize until after the intro of the song that they picked.
no,
Yeah.
again, so the one I tried was Andrew Sandman. Oh
Oh
no.
yeah.
That is not an easy song. That is
That's a
so
very commonly picked one.
no, it's a great song because it's the energy on that song's awesome, right?
Yeah.
But it's so like because it's not his pitch is not that easy to hit, and that song you have to do it just right. If you don't, it does not work. It's
Yep.
the fact it's the right pitch, the right twang. It's an amazing journey, and the prayer is awesome. That you can do regardless of how good you are, but that's the only part of the song you can do for sure.
Yeah.
Right, so, but no, yeah.
Yeah, no, and then of course there's like Whitney Houston and Evanescence and Adele and all of those that I've.
Adele,
Oh
wow,
yeah. Oh yeah.
wow, because Adele's hard. Her voice again, very that voice is so.
Yeah. I love her dynamics. So
No,
that's one of the things that I enjoy the most.
I think with her the reason why I think she has such because her dynamics is so in contrast with what she's writing about.
Yeah.
It hits you in such a way that it's just like that's why she's so good. That is why she's so good. My personal favorite, although I prefer Diane Birch, I like Adele is definitely like just her range is ridiculous. But yeah, so Headlock of Doom. I guess we're doing karaoke. I guess we're doing
I guess so.
I guess so. Wow. Okay. So next, I'm gonna ask it. So Albert, I'm assuming you're in Alberta, obviously. What city?
In Sherwood Park. It's just outside Edmonton.
Yeah, I know where it is. I do know where it is. Okay. So next time in the area, because hopefully the world has gotten slightly less insane. I hope we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But if the world's gone slightly less insane, karaoke, and I'll try. And I'm open to. I'm game for anything. I'm just gonna warn you. Low expectations, right? I might blow you away. But I get the feeling you're going to be carrying us when it comes to this singing, and I'm totally good with that. What's your drink of choice?
I don't drink anymore.
You don't drink anymore. No.
Yeah. So water?
Yeah, water. I guess water or ginger ale. No, it'd be water because you're singing. Okay, so I guess I'll supply the water. I'll be the water boy.
There you go.
There you go.
I don't want to see the pocketbook, but that's fine.
Well, at least like you're carrying the load, right? So I gotta do something to make up for that anyway. So
yeah.
But yeah, no, you're awesome. Like honestly, good luck with everything you're doing, and
thank you.
Yeah, rooting for you. And just one last time, is there anything else you'd like to add in terms of promotion anywhere else, or before I wrap up?
I don't think so. All of my projects are on a Day One Always. I mean, I also do a radio show on soundsugarradio.com. It's an internet radio station, and it's called Spotlight on Local, where I do highlight Alberta industry and Alberta businesses. I also teach and educate. Is
it CA or .com? Is it CA or .com?
.com. So soundsugarradio.com. And I'm live every Tuesday at 10:30 on there.
Okay. Very cool.
That's tomorrow at 10:30.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So tomorrow is about chocolate. So that should be fun.
Chocolate's good medicine. It's very good medicine. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's a heck of a note to walk away from for the crowd anyway. So for everyone out there, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you want to support this podcast, you can do so a number of different ways. Hit the like and follow button on Twitch, twitch.tv/justjoshuapodcast. I'm on YouTube as well as Joshua Pantelleresco. I got a couple books if you want to pick those up. But no matter what, stay inspired. Keep shining in the dark. Tomorrow, I'm a guest on the show, so there won't be a stream tomorrow. But Wednesday, Bobby Nash joins the show. All right, guys. Keep on rocking, and I'll see you guys next time.